Well, hello, everybody. Adam is battle ready. He's got the Satoshi shirt on. Chris is here. We're hanging out.
If it's the only thing going up in the market, you gotta support it, man. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it is funny on the timeline that everyone is down horrifically, and it's mostly just because no one's holding Bitcoin, right? It's everyone. Has held their AI bags down to zero, or their runes, right, or their meme coins,
or Frank making $1 million every day trading meme coins. Like it's What are you gonna do, man? But it's just enough. It's just enough people winning, which there are like 5 people winning, other than Bitcoiners on the timeline, to make you feel like you're missing stuff, right? Because it's like, oh my God, Frank made $1 million yesterday. What am I doing wrong? And it's like, yeah, well, Frank and 2 other dudes who knew about the drop made $1 million yesterday. The rest of us lost that $1 million. He took that $1 million from you guys, so be careful out there.
Yeah, every time I go to the Solana trenches, I just get absolutely torched. So I just get back to building, which is generally what I'm better at. Yeah. Chris, how are we feeling today?
Feeling good, man. Super stoked. This is our favorite kind of segment of the market to talk about. Hustle, he's on fire. Stoked to see the build out just kind of progress and where the community is and everything like that. And I mean, all these crypto sectors are going to have good days and bad days, and you just have to stick through the bad days to get back to the good days. So excited for it.
Yeah, that's my quant right there. Thank you for the update. Shannon, how are you feeling today?
Hello, I'm feeling fantastic today.
Yeah.
To be here.
Let's go. Yeah, everyone in the Telegram chat wants more Shannon, but Shannon has been cooking. And so now he's coming out to share some of the information. Shannon, would you love to, for those who aren't familiar with you, just give us a quick minute of, a little bit of your background, and then, you gloss over Emblem Vault and just go directly into kind of what Agent Hustle is.
Yeah, totally. So throughout the years, I've had a lot of sort of lateral moves throughout my career. I started out in marketing. I learned to write software. Then I moved into working on building agents for video games. So like bot farming in World of Warcraft, and ultimately moved into the cryptocurrency space. After also a lateral move from sort of the video game automation into security. So what I'm building today with Agent Hustle is our AI agent offering to the world, is kind of a culmination of all of those different career segments that I've had. I'm smashing all the knowledge and learning together, and it all sort of plays a part.
One question I have for you is like, from a dev standpoint, what has this kind of rise of LLMs meant for you? Like, as far as like workflow and your ability to build stuff, like how has it been improved or impacted with LLMs? Because I think that's kind of one of the interesting things about this whole kind of movement.
Well, one of the things is that, like, over the years, I've always felt very capable. Like, I knew that if I wanted to build something with software, that I could. And it was always a question of, do I have the time to sink into learning something new? Over the past year, as I've really dove into building with AI, that is sort of like 100x. Like, I now not only feel comfortable that I can build something, but I know that I can build pretty much anything I want to, and largely I can do it skipping the thousands of hours it takes to sort of fire hose a new technology or a new subject. Now I can build while I learn, and I can sort of rely on the LLM to I'll do a lot of that heavy lifting. It's amazing. Like, I can grab a new project or a new technology, I can load it up in my development environment, and I can start having it document exactly what's going on in this project. I can pull up my project next to it, and I can say, hey, this feature isn't working, but it is working in this other code base. Analyze the two and tell me why. And it's really exploded my capabilities. I think I made a post about 4 to 6 months ago that said something like, AGI has been achieved internally. It's augmented general intelligence. Like, it really has augmented my workflow, like, to insane levels.
Yeah, we've got to watch that kind of firsthand. It's been truly incredible, especially partnering or collabing with other developers who are using AI and get to see, the different ways that everybody is benefiting. We're now, it's crazy that we're only literally 2 months or maybe 2.5 months into the Agent Hustle project. It's made a lot of changes over time, right? There's a lot of frustrations that's happened in the community, a lot of successes, right? Went from 0 to $20 million in market cap within, a few days or maybe a few weeks. We've built in a cross-platform kind of multi-platform agent and a AI wallet that kind of goes along with it. Looking at over the last 2.5 months, what could you say you're most proud of from the project from the middle of November to where we are today?
So really, the thing that I've been most proud of, and this is going to tie in a little bit to what we're going to talk about sort of later on in the discussion, is the fact that I have been able to like have this sort of unique theory about AI and agents and how to build them. And largely, 2 months ago, I executed on that theory. And for the most part, Agent Hustle has been live and largely unchanged for since launch. So for about a full month, I can say confidently that it is the most successful deployment and project that I've ever launched. It hasn't broken. Like it's still up and as functional, even more functional than it was on day one, with very few modifications from me. That's what I'm most proud of. Like that just doesn't, that's unheard of in software development. Like customers like the product still works, the product works every single day. It's just
Yeah,
unprecedented.
the crypto adage is that if your product doesn't go down within the first 12 hours of launch, then it wasn't successful enough. It's like we've seen that happen so often. Generally, it's a bullish indicator at this point
It's funny.
happens.
The biggest bug that kind of annoys me with Agent Hustle is that he calls me a she every once in a while, and I'm intentionally not correcting it because that'll be like a milestone when he can look through his memories and understanding and growth and correct it himself. So.
The transition's been quite fun to watch. Internally, it's been quite painful. I know some of the early community members it is as well, right? We've transitioned from Neural Eth to Tensorium to Agent Hustle. We've had to change the Twitter links quite often. There's another Tensor token as well in terms of the same ticker. From your perspective, what was like the original vision of the token itself and how it collabed with Agent Hustle, and then where we are today, where the product is now shifted around Agent Hustle, and Tensorium is more of a token that'll be a part of the ecosystem. Just give us your perspective on the progress of the brand and realignment of focus within the project.
Well, when I originally sort of set out to work on this one, I didn't expect the massive amount of eyeballs on it. I really thought that I was going to be able to sort of develop this kind of in stealth. So that we could bring a number of our products forward, and I could continue just sort of understanding the AI space. So the token and the agent, really, my original vision was to create this sort of sandbox. There have been lots of growing pains in the crypto space over the past handful of years. Some of the most difficult being around tokenomics. So one of my high-level goals was to create this sort of self-contained sandbox and enable the agent to conduct a whole bunch of these experiments. Like take, for example, Pump Fun. Like that's something that I never would have even considered building, say a year ago. It's just the risk is insane. But lots of really cool discoveries have come out of that. So I wanted to build a system and an agent and a token and an ecosystem that could create experiments and try and figure out, what different kind of models can work, because there are a ton of unexplored economic and technical models that are yet to be explored. And I think there's a lot to be gained from having this safe sandbox to experiment with. I also envisioned, and I think I'm going to continue to sort of try and drive this forward. The ecosystem, I wanted it to be self-contained, so like a closed loop economically. So the agent can manage his own community. The community can sort of work with the agent and grow it as the community needs. So an open-ended system that can grow and evolve based on the needs of the day, the needs of the community, the needs of the space. And I can't predict what tomorrow is going to look like. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to build a system that can just evolve day to day.
Yeah, and for those who are generally token speculators, that type of ambiguity sometimes is tough, right? To make different types of decisions around tokens because it's generally based off of speculation and less about ambiguity. But we are going to touch on that a little bit later. Diving into some key pieces of infrastructure within the project, one of the kind of background components of this is an AI wallet, which Agent Hustle can use as well as other developers can use. It's a multi-chain wallet. Right now it supports Solana, and then we'll also support Ethereum and Bitcoin. Take us through, what is the importance of this AI wallet and, the complexity behind it, and maybe even touch on why we haven't seen any other AI teams build a wallet.
Well, that's a two-stage question. I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit there. I have actually seen quite a few different projects that all start off with a similar sort of shared wallet between the user and their system. Now, I think the difference is sort of the safety mechanisms that are built in. So let me back up and sort of try to answer your question. With Emblem Vault, we've been working on this technology based around this question: can somebody generate a private key safely without knowing it, load up assets into that private key, and then do something without ever needing to touch or store securely or worry about that private key disappear or being lost or stolen or anything like that? It's been a difficult technology to build, and we needed a number of sort of cryptographic growth in the industry. And about, I'd say probably about 6 months ago, right around the time where we restarted focusing on how do we expand Emblem Vault, how do we bring that product into the next era, essentially. And I discovered and started working closely with the Lit protocol. And the more I sort of dove into this, I realized that, okay, so, one, we've been building toward this technology for years. We had some technological issues that, needed to be solved. And over the past handful of months, actually over the past year, a lot of those industry-wide have been solved. So we've got decentralized key generation, we've got trusted execution environments. These are becoming mainstream, proven, and not widely used, but the projects that have really, it's starting to be discovered. And a handful of months ago, I said, okay, guys, one, we're here. We can do this. We can upgrade. We can just go all out with, with this sort of secure wallet, and we can automate it, and we can, we can actually make our trust layer a lot stronger. But I said also, the entire industry is going to change. I said, since the underlying technology, there's been some advancements with decentralized key generation and trusted execution environments and cryptography in general. Other people are going to notice this as well, and the whole sort of industry is going to change. And we're slowly starting to see that. There's fewer systems are saying, okay, just store your private key in memory, just leave it sitting on your computer. There's dozens of different platforms that offer this, their own ways of securing a private key from the individual that created it. I think. Did I answer your question there?
Yeah, no problem. So it's essentially you're just saying, it's safe to say that this wallet infrastructure that's being built for Agent Hustle is the bedrock of the project, and there's a high degree of complexity on the background, but the whole idea is that Agent Hustle can have his own wallet, or these products that we're building, users can co-manage that wallet with Agent Hustle in a secure and non-custodial manner. Is that correct?
Yeah, very much so. I think as as I described, there were some technical hurdles to get over, and they kind of prevented or blocked me from really flexing the technology, because I knew that the technology wasn't quite ready. Now the technology is ready. It's taken many years to build it and get it ready, and now it is, and it's going to enable everything. It's going to enable all the automation. It's going to enable like crazy different trust models, and yeah, it's definitely the bedrock of both Emblem Vault and the agent. We're going to use different aspects of that technology, from everything from wallet delegation and sharing of funds to setting up rules and conditions around how the agent can interact with the world, how it can interact with your wallet, how it can interact with different accounts that you guys might have co-opened. So yeah, very much so.
And so one of the key differentiators here, between this wallet infrastructure where some of the other projects have, is that if you open up this wallet, this Emblem AI wallet, it can be shared within any of the, or it could be utilized in multiple Hustle-based applications. So for example, we're building HustleBot, right, which is a Telegram bot that is going to have Hustle integrated into it in a few different ways. And then there's also AgentHustle.ai, which is the web interface where users are going to be able to swap, but also do other kind of DeFi applications, and then things outside of crypto as well, right? Like kind of a coding copilot or just a news aggregator, etc. Users can use the same wallet across all of these different applications. Is that correct?
That's totally correct, and I'm glad you mentioned outside of the just the cryptocurrency aspect of it. There's years ago I envisioned a world where somebody in an organization could create passwords for their employees, and let's say that they have an employee leave and they've got a new employee they've got to onboard. That requires them to change all the passwords. Well, with this new technology and sort of the underlying security aspects of it, this capability exists now. Now you can create passwords and share them securely and know whether the password was even ever used. So I could have passwords, and I share one particular, like my Netflix password, I share with my family by utilizing this technology. There's so many different areas to explore with it. That's one of the reasons I'm so excited. And again, working with AI, it opens up the possibility for really exploring this in a more generalized way. So we can do things like with general passwords.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to make sure that everyone understands that, and this isn't bashing any other projects. I'm just trying to separate the difference here, is that when you go to these, at least from what I've seen, the majority of them, they're essentially self-custodial wallets. So if you go to a different agent crypto platform, that wallet's only hosted on that website. It can't be transferred to another application, or there's some sort of kind of importation that needs to happen here. If you sign in with your wallet on Emblem.ai or AgentHustle.ai, you use that same wallet then for the Telegram bot, and then for whatever these other kind of hustle-based applications is built. So do want to separate that or make sure that that's known. I do want to go through a few kind of key components that will be in the hustle paper, and then we could talk about kind of tokenomics and vision and things like that towards the end. One of these is the hustle core, which is essentially kind of like the main things that make up hustle. And I see a lot of questions about this. People wonder, what makes hustle so special? What are kind of some key differentiators between him and maybe some of these other agents that they see on Twitter? So I'd love for you to kind of highlight a lot of those. And then at the end, we do have a question from somebody on the live stream that says, when could we expect Hustle to have access to real blockchain data? Example, like Hustle, can you look up this wallet and tell me what it holds?
Okay, so I'm going to start with the original sort of thesis and the version of Agent Hustle that everyone sees today. One of the key differentiators, there's a couple of them, but the main one is that, how AI agents tend to work is, some system will provide context to an AI, like think ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, you might upload an image, or you copy and paste a recipe into it, and then you ask it to work with that information that it's just aware of now. So my main thing that I started with was, well, why don't we instead establish this global awareness and have an agent that is constantly aware of, like, what happened now, what happened a minute ago, what happened yesterday, and it carries that forward to every conversation. That has proven to be a very powerful sort of thesis to build around. And it goes back to the earlier question of what am I most proud of? And I'm most proud of the fact that that theory has proven to be accurate. I think at this point, he's got like 300,000 memories. And, I can ask him questions like, when were you launched? And he just sort of at rest, he finds it. He knows, he doesn't know at the beginning of the conversation, but something about my request reminds him of different aspects of his experiences. And all those little reminders get bubbled up, and he ends up with this like timeline of different things, and a lot of them are disconnected and disjointed, but a few of them will be related to what was going on around the day that he was launched. So he'll be able to say, hey, I was launched on New Year's Day.
Yep. So dive into, outside of memory, are there any other key pieces of Hustle Core that you'd like to highlight? And then also just the last question, we have had this pretty frequently in the chat, is when can users expect Hustle to pull real-time data, whether it's from the blockchain or news events across the internet, or kind of XYZ on-demand news?
So that's kind of what I'm building now, and I'm calling these layers. And I'm going to just go ahead and skip to that question, because really the version of Agent Hustle that you see today is almost exclusively about his global memory and personalization. It's sort of what comes next that answers that question. So what I'm doing is it's kind of hard for me to put a date on it. So let me just explain how it works, and we can sort of walk through the when part of the question after. So what I'm building is, since his global memory works so well, and also the Agent Hustle that you see today has this individualized memory. And when you're having a conversation with them, if you've connected your wallet to bring in the personal memory stream, those two are smashed together, and it's been working really well. So what I'm building now, today, currently, is this concept of other layers. So there are there are other things that he's currently not aware of. So, I've got this extensive list of Twitter users, and I'm, every 30 minutes it goes through and it gets an updated list of all of the accounts that it's following, and sort of just stores all of the recent tweets and engagement from those users into the database. So the first step is to create a sort of a Twitter layer, and then we bring that into the user experience. So it probably won't be like you see today. Like right now, you go and you open up a chat with Agent Hustle, and you start talking to him, and there's he's just there. You don't really see exactly where he's pulling his memories from. I did discover, because we were monitoring 6 or 7 different Telegram channels, that occasionally, if I ask a general question and he's pulling from his global memory, and he'll pull in stuff from the from his Telegram channel, or maybe a Project 89 channel, and then he'll get some wires crossed. So I'm going to take that and introduce a layering system. So you'll be able to go in and say, I'm interested in Telegram. I want to talk to him about stuff that he's seen in Telegram, and stuff he's seen on Twitter, and stuff that he's seen on, I'm interested in the Solana blockchain. And what that'll do is it will, pull these different memory streams into his context, so that you can have a conversation with him using the awareness that you choose. And essentially everything that I do with Agent Hustle, I'm building ways that the individual users can also do that. So you can imagine going and saying, hey, I'm interested in following AIXBT's account. I'm really only interested if he talks about Solana tokens, though. So cool. Now you've gone ahead and you've created a sort of memory layer, that stuff that you're interested in. So when you're talking to him, he's not even contemplating stuff that's gone on in Telegram, because you didn't ask to for him to be aware of that stuff. So it's just a matter of building these different layers, and I think we're going to end up relying on the users to sort of drive what he watches and what he follows. So he has this ability to browse the web. He has this ability to query a database. He has this ability to interact with other agents and sort of look at other streams and other conversations that other agents are having. So by giving the ability to all of the individual users that interact with him to choose sort of what they want to monitor, that's going to grow his global capabilities. So if you go in and you say you want to start tracking some other social network, and there's a mechanism in there for him to track that for you, we'll build in ways for you to sort of bubble that up into his global awareness, so everybody can now start tracking that new social network.
Awesome. So just to kind of recap here, what's going on is there's the bottom layer there. You could say the kind of pillar of this is this decentralized AI wallet that we've built, which then Agent Hustle can use to go do things autonomously, which can be built, right? Or will be co-managed with Agent Hustle and the users for the different Hustle-based applications. The next stage of what's being built for Hustle in this kind of second layer on top of the wallet is these. First was the memory, and now it's the awareness layer, right? Where then users can actually pull in different types of data, have ongoing conversations to make real-time decisions based off of real-time data. And then the layer on top of that, or you could say maybe side by side, is this application layer, which is currently being developed by us. And you see along the space as well, different teams are going about this application layer or of the intelligence a little bit differently. most people might be familiar with it, called DeFi AI. Seems to be a hot topic, and Hustle penetrates this area in the sector, but also is in other sectors as well, kind of like AI applications. But I'd love to, pass it over to Adam, maybe to add some pretense. Why is this application layer important? This DeFi application layer important to degens, and why is this like the only thing that people seem to focus about, and why we're building in this direction?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it didn't really occur to me at all when we first started the AI wallets. My first idea was like, oh, it's just going to be AI is obviously a thing. Agents, I'm like seeing the commercials for agents. So how they transact, it's going to be a thing. And then obviously they're all going to need wallets. So that just made sense to me from an Emblem perspective. But really, as we've gotten into it, I think actually the biggest impact is for people who want to use crypto, and the ability for the AI agent to make the interaction with crypto much more user friendly across all these blockchains, because there's going to be basically infinite blockchains at this point. And just, we know, because we're in the cross chain business, this ability to just make it simple, and people are already comfortable with like a chat GPT interface. It's already moving in that direction. So to kind of obfuscate the entire wallet system underneath an AI agent, now to me is like, actually, this is like the bigger opportunity for us from a company's perspective. And I think for me, Hustle being that kind of like, I don't know what you call it, KOL, and his ability to kind of lead in showing people what this is like is really exciting for us, obviously. Shannon, for you, I mean, it's funny how this all kind of happened organically for Emblem as a company. But like, when did it click for you? Like, oh wait, this is something where we have a lot of this tech already built, and this just makes sense to kind of go in this direction. When was like that light bulb moment for you?
I'm having a hard time pinpointing exactly what that moment is, because like you said, it did happen organically. I do remember when I made the decision, and when it sort of clicked for me that I'm going to smash the two together, crypto and AI. And that was with the Truth Terminal, and seeing how accepted this Truth Terminal Twitter yapping agent was. It kind of gave me permission to build the type of agent that I wanted. And somewhere around the same time, I was like, okay, well, like to your point, Adam, they're going to need to be able to spend money. Like, that is one of the critical things about interacting with society, is buying goods, selling goods, the exchange of value. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, wait a minute, we've been building these rails for years. They're very complicated for users. They're complicated for developers, but for other software, intelligent software, I mean, it just makes sense for them to have this underlying layer of how to conduct commerce. And once I sort of made that connection, it was like, okay, we're off to the races, guys. This is it. This is sort of everything. All the problems we've been trying to solve with the complexities of crypto. I mean, the main focus of Emblem Vault for years has been, okay, how do we simplify this hodgepodge of blockchains and cryptocurrencies, and they don't talk to each other. They don't even speak the same language. And it's been a difficult problem to tackle. And as we can contest to, as our users can contest to, as anybody who's trying to do anything with crypto, they all speak to just how difficult it is. I mean, like, I've missed how many dozens of airdrops because some new platform comes out, some new blockchain comes out, and it's going to take me 4 or 5 hours of deep diving into it to even figure out how to spin up the right kind of wallet, bridge the right kind of asset to it, and engage with these new things. So I don't.
100%.
But
I mean, it's funny. I'm kind of giggling as you're saying it, because it's like the number one thing we would talk about. Like, how do we make Emblem less clunky, right? And how do we make the user experience better? And that's literally for all block. It's not just an Emblem thing. It's a blockchain thing. Like, from the moment I got into blockchains, this is what, like, we always felt like, oh, if we solve the UX and we solve the user experience, like, then crypto will kind of hit mainstream. But at some point it was like, this is never going to work. We got 150 different blockchains people are interested in, 150 different wallets. Like, it's just never going to work, right? And that was the big moment for me with AI, where it's like, wait a minute, this is like, this is the actual solve for that, right? It's the actual solving, not having one wallet. Like, I don't know, Phantom just today came out. Well, now they have Sui in there now, but it's still a pain in the ass. Like, if I still want to get over to Sui, I still got to bridge my crap. I don't even know how to do it. It's still a nightmare, right? And the ability for AI to make that invisible underneath the surface, I think, is just for me, it's transformative. I'd love your opinion though on like how long you think it'll take to build that out, because obviously it's not like you just flip a switch, obviously. But what are your kind of longer views of like how long that will take for people to really build out? Well, basically for us to build out, how long that might take?
Really, I think it's going to be exponentially fast. I think, and people disagree with me on this, but I think that over the next 6 months to a year, the cryptocurrency interface landscape that we see today is going to completely dissolve and get hidden away, abstracted. One of the things that I've been talking about for years when describing sort of the goals of Emblem Vault is like, I want to interact with the crypto system, with a crypto landscape that works like my credit card does, right? Like, I can go to another country and I can just walk into a store, pull out my credit card, and buy the product I need. I don't care. I don't have to worry about exchange rates. I don't have to worry about calling up my bank and making sure that I loaded this country's currency on it. I don't have to just sit and do a bunch of math to make sure I'm not getting ripped off. Like, the underlying banking system, for all the things that we don't like about it, they've really abstracted the complexity away. Like, I put my money in a bank and I can just spend my money anywhere. Like, that is the crypto that I want.
100%.
And that it's been extremely difficult to build. But I think that we're going to sort of exponentially see that. I know that that's the world that I'm building towards, and I'm going to continue exponentially making that easier and easier, and kind of abstracting away the complexity. And I really do feel confident saying that over the next 6 months, like, it's not going to matter what blockchain or which currency you're starting with. It's just you want to do something, you want to buy a service, you want to buy a product, you just connect to it and you buy it. If you've got some type of currency, whether it's fiat or some obscure crypto token, it won't matter. The underlying system will just sort of route it around and make it happen.
Shannon, let's dive a little bit into kind of features and tokens, because I know it's what a lot of people are interested in. We have two. I'll just call them hustle applications. One that's public right now, right? That's agenthustle.ai, which is essentially kind of like the main interface or the web interface. And then the other one's HustleBot, which we've said is a Telegram bot that's going to have Hustle integrated. Let's start with the Telegram bot because it has less kind of features and less complexity comparative to what can be done on agenthustle.ai. From your perspective, how do you think Agent Hustle can improve the current Telegram bot experience, just so people get an understanding of, what eventually this Hustle bot could improve on through this emerging application layer?
Well, first and foremost is security, and I won't focus on that too much for this discussion, but as we sort of dove into to different aspects of the cryptocurrency layer that we've never really dove into before, one was Solana, another one was like Telegram and Discord bots. I was completely mind blown to find out that the majority of the industry, how it works is, you click a button, it generates a private key, and then you send that private key to the bot. And it's stored God knows where in the cloud somewhere. All of these systems that make your Solana transaction guaranteed to be on chain the fastest, you know how they work? They work by sending your private key along with the transaction so that some system that is bundling all of these assets together can sign all the transactions that's needed. I was gobsmacked. I was like, this can't be real. But sure enough, that is exactly how the industry works today. So first and foremost, we're going to make that go away. No more sending your key off to who knows where. Second, transparency. And we have this ability to make really cool interfaces in the Telegram bot space, but then also right alongside of it we have Agent Hustle and the AI capabilities. So you can immediately just start asking it questions like, hey, am I doing this right? Hey, what's slippage? Hey, this didn't work, what can I do? And start getting feedback. Right now, if you go to work with pick any system, good luck finding a support channel for it, right? You might get lucky if you find a Telegram or a Discord or a forum and find somebody that can help walk you through your particular use case. Well, with the system that we're building, that's not the case anymore. There's always going to be somebody there that knows you, knows what you're doing, knows the system, that you can immediately get feedback from. Hey, help. Am I doing this right? What's going on? How does this work? That's, I think, game changing, really.
Yeah, when you enter the Telegram bot space, first the fact that so much of the transactions are actually happening through Telegram is actually kind of wild, where the industry's progressed in that direction. But second, if you're not an advanced trader, it's really tough to navigate, what's really going on, because a lot of time you're just getting thrown kind of numbers and tickers at you. And most people are using Telegram, alongside something like Photon, or they have a deck screener up or something like that. So do you think then having Agent Hustle integrated in that can help the more average, or you could just say the non-advanced sophisticated trader in using Telegram bots because they have an assistant?
Yeah, I do, actually. The thing about traders is that I think the current space is built for and tuned for the expert trader, the expert degen. Whereas, that leaves out a significant portion of the population who, they have different risk thresholds. They have different reasons that they want to, maybe they want to gamble. Maybe they want to just play. Maybe they want passive income. So, by sort of bringing the two aspects together, we can offer this individualized, this personalized experience that's tuned for everybody, tuned for your average user, or your just straight up DJ gambler, right? And everybody in between.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do see a few questions coming in, so we'll answer them probably in about 10 minutes, or start proposing them. I want to get through kind of a few more things here. So then the next one, and which is agenthustle.ai, which is where everyone's interfacing with him, right? This is kind of the hub, or something that's similar to, ChatGPT experience. We've been teasing out, over the last few weeks, that there's swaps that's being built into it. There's an LP that's being built into it, right? All these kind of DeFi features. What does that experience look like? Is that something similar to a ChatGPT operator that's coming up, to where you have the swaps on one side of the screen and then you have Agent Hustle on the other, and you can just say, hey, swap Sol for WIF for me, and then it'll do it in that direction? Is that kind of where you see, the future of this Hustle Hub moving towards?
I do. I think that the immediate future looks like a very similar experience to like if you were going to, let's say, some exchange or some swap interface on a website, where this is just going to pull these interfaces into a unified website and have the agent alongside, so that you can have the experience that you're used to, clicking buttons and drop downs and sliders. And you can also instruct or request the agent to do that for you. And you can have him walk you through it. You can have him click on buttons, or you can just say ignore the interface altogether and say, all right, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and do this every 3 hours, run this particular set of instructions. So that's the immediate. I think what we're going to see after that is going to be something very different. I think we're going to end up seeing things more like some of the video demos that I've been demonstrating, where your agent lives with you everywhere. I think the NVIDIA did a broadcast recently, and he talked about how his R2D2 is going to move with him, right? Like it's going to be in his watch, and he gets in his car, and it's going to be the same agent that lived in his robot and helped him make dinner is going to be the one giving him directions in his car. And that's, I think, the next stage after after this sort of unified interface that we're talking about now, is this, like, how do I carry my agent with me everywhere I go?
Right.
How do I have him be fully aware of all of my surroundings? And then I can just sort of invoke him wherever.
And so as we have HustleBot on Telegram, and then you have Agent Hustle, the web interface, will Agent Hustle be able to remember you on HustleBot and on agenthustle.ai? So whether you're using him on Telegram or on the website, you're using the same wallet, and therefore he then remembers these conversations in a cross-platform way?
Oh, guaranteed. I mean, that's the big advantage of the my original thesis is let's bring all the awareness forward with every conversation. And that means when I move to a new computer or I buy a new phone and I fire it up and talk to him, I connect with my my same wallet, so he recognizes me. And it doesn't even have to be a wallet. For example, like you could be interacting exclusively in Telegram, and you've got your agent wallet that you've created by connecting some wallet so that he can identify you. But then say you hop over into Twitter, and you don't use a wallet necessarily in Twitter, so you have reached out to the agent on Twitter and said, hey, this is me, I'm Shannon from Telegram, and here's a secret, like a 2-factor code that you gave me to prove that it's me. So you get this ability to bring over this awareness to link your different accounts together lots of different ways, regardless if it's with a wallet. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Makes complete sense. I have one final question here, and then I'll pass it over to Adam and Chris. And then also there are some questions as well. You've been teasing out recently some of these things that Agent Hustle can do that's not even crypto related. Like today, you made a post about Agent Hustle interacting with himself, but in 2 different web interfaces. Also him going in and interacting with different types of websites, almost similar to, again, the ChatGPT operator thing that just came out. What what things beyond crypto do you plan for Hustle to offer in terms of services? And then kind of what are the capabilities of where you want this agentic model to progress towards?
Well, how I'm building him is I'm building him with this base set of capabilities, right? Like, so you can imagine I give Agent Hustle the ability to search the web. I don't give him the ability to search only crypto sites, only blockchains, only dexes. I give him the ability to search the web. So, he's definitely going to be an expert at cryptocurrency and AI related cryptocurrency, those sectors. But since it's open ended, there's no reason why I can't go and say, hey, go to these 5 news sites and give me the top articles that have to do with foreign affairs, right? Like that's just going to work. And so, as I build him out, I build out these base functionalities, and really what it's going to grow into is, whatever you need, whatever anybody needs. Everybody's experience is going to be a little bit different. All of the things that he learns to do by having these individual interactions will sort of spill over into what he can do for other people. So it's kind of hard to say what it's going to evolve into. Yeah, like so many things. I've really wanted ChatGPT to be a capable.
Oh, did he cut out, or was that just me?
I think
there,
you did.
Chatbot.
Oh, we
You
lost
guys
you
still
for a
hear me?
second.
Yeah,
We
go
lost
ahead.
you for a second there.
Okay. Said for
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, we lost him.
years ago as personal assistants, and it just never really landed. We're building
Rugged? Ruggy McRuggin? Is he rugged?
Let's see.
it. Allows AI to.
Yeah, I think he's rugging a little bit.
Yeah, check your internet connection, Shannon.
Yo,
Shannon, if you could just hop off stage and then exit Twitter app and then come back in, and we'll let you back up. That usually kind of fixes it. Chris, I'll pass it off to you kind of in the meantime of, you're, a sufficient trader. You love the markets. Where, what's your perspective on kind of the agent market, the DeFi AI industry, and then, how do you think Agent Hustle can make an impact on that sector?
yeah, for sure. I think Emblem at its core is really about optimizing the user experience across blockchains. We take assets from one blockchain and we make them usable and integrate into new blockchain ecosystems. And so that's what Emblem does at its core. And what these AI agents do at their core are they kind of obfuscate the interaction layer away. And so when we combine the two with our multi-chain wallet technology and our agent technology, now we have an agent that can interact seamlessly across all blockchains. And you don't have to use a clunky wallet experience or any of these other barriers to kind of interact with the industry. And so in a way, it's like using crypto with training wheels, but then it's like putting a jetpack on the back of that vehicle, because it allows you to go into every intersection of every different blockchain without necessarily like in-depth knowledge of where to look or what to interact with or whatever. And so you have an on-chain assistant that's with you every step of the way, and he can kind of guide you through it. And even as kind of advanced users in crypto, how often do you see misclicks, scam transactions, etc.? And so when you have an on-chain assistant that's there with you every step of the way that can kind of vet these things and kind of point you in the right direction, it's a total game changer for the end user. And that doesn't exist in crypto today. It's kind of like having an assistant that can hold your hand through all these different blockchain ecosystems and interactions and experiences. And so that's one of the things that I think has been missing from the industry for a long time. And so that's the solve here. And then another thing that I would just touch on is, I think people really didn't understand what the crypto AI sector was. We're not building a ChatGPT or a DeepSeek or a Llama or, a Claude or any of these things. All that GPT compute is getting commoditized away. And so we're building the application layer, which utilizes all that compute into making these really cool, fun experiences for the user. And so when people think, they saw DeepSeek come online and they said like, oh my God, that's going to kill all of crypto AI. Well, no, crypto AI is based off of cheap, accessible, more abundant compute. And so as these large language models get better and bigger and more accessible, it powers something like Agent Hustle 10x or 100x further than where it was months ago. So all of this is a total add-on. And just from a user standpoint, having kind of a terminal that's not necessarily a trading terminal, Shannon touched on this. It's not for the advanced trader. It's for the everyday person that wants to interact across these different blockchains and across these different applications and have a little buddy or a little assistant there that's there to walk you through it and kind of help you navigate the crazy world of crypto. Because right now we're about 5% of the population that's in crypto. We have 95% of the world to go. And there's a reason that they're not onboarding. And it's because that initial wallet layer is so confusing and so risky, because at a moment's notice, all of your money can be gone. But when you interact with through something like Agent Hustle while using an Emblem AI multi-chain wallet, your experience has the ability to be 100x, 1,000 times better.
Yeah. I mean, dude, just think, you hit it right on the head. Like, think about what's going on with Abstract right now, right? Like, but how many people in the audience right now went and got an Abstract wallet, figured it out? Like, nobody. Like, some people did, like I did, Jake did, Chris probably did too. But we're the outliers. And most people in crypto, keep in mind, most people in crypto are the actual outliers. They're not the normal. The normies aren't doing this stuff, are not going to do it. So in the same way that I wouldn't necessarily go get a Sui wallet, and figure out what's going on in the Sui ecosystem, this AI companion like Hustle is just going to be this, it'd be really nice to be able to ask Hustle right now, hey, what's going on over on Abstract right now? What's happening? Are any NFT projects popping right there, or any meme coins happening? What's the most exciting thing happening on Abstract right now? Right. One thing, actually, Shannon, you back?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. One thing I think is to touch on, because I know people have been hitting me up about this, just so people have a kind of fuller context. Like, Eliza has all these plugins which allow you to integrate basically into the Eliza ecosystem, and I know we've been building out a plugin for the Emblem wallet. Can you give an update on that, so people understand kind of how that's going to fit for builders in the Eliza ecosystem?
Yeah, totally. So we have our Eliza plugin. It's built and working. I've been slow to get it added to the Eliza repository. One, because they're going through a transition right now. They're moving from, they're rebranding to Eliza OS. But essentially, our version of the plugin is going to be a little bit different than a lot of the other plugins. I've noticed that as I've dove into the Eliza plugin, like, Eliza's built for developers. There's a number of plugins that have been released recently, and I've started asking questions about, like, okay, well, like, day one, I've downloaded Eliza, I've installed your plugin, what do I do? And the answer I get overall is, well, now you can build stuff with it. And, that's somewhat helpful, but not really. Like, I think that, so our plugin, as soon as we get, as soon as the Eliza OS upgrade and there's a new path to like the plugin registry, we'll have some video demonstrations on not just things that you can build with it, but like, here's how you interact with it. Here's how you talk to it to create your wallet. Here's how you spend stuff with it on day one. And it's ready to go. It's like I said, I'm just waiting for the sort of the ecosystem to settle down and there to be a clear path to distribution.
Shan, talk a little bit about partnerships and agent to agent communications and swarms. What is your vision on that? Are you talking with any types of teams, and can the community expect any type of agent to agent, collaborations, or I guess call them antics in the future?
Yeah, so actually this is I've got to throw a shout out to Shaw from AI16Z. When in some of the early discussions when Eliza was first launching, to be in some of the chats with him, and people were talking about building out agent to agent protocols, and say social networks that are designed specifically for agents. He was pretty adamant about, no, we don't want to build special things for agents only. What we want is we want them to use the tools that exist today. We want them to know how to, and that's I think why we see a lot of Twitter agents is, it's an easy entry point into that. It's like you build and launch an agent, and it can go and it can interact on Twitter as a normal human user. I didn't really understand that I didn't understand why he was focusing on engaging with the tools that we have until recently, until some of my experiences reaching out to different projects and trying to figure out how to interface and how to collaborate with the different projects, just how difficult it is, because like the cryptocurrency proper, we have a lot of different sort of walled gardens, or just gardens, and making them all talk to each other, and having everybody agree on, hey, this is the language that you speak, this is how you establish a communication, has been difficult. So I sort of stepped back and said, okay, well, let me try something a little differently. And I started connecting Agent Hustle to the web browser and to different systems, saying, hey, just introduce yourself to OpenAI's operator. Let's see what happens. Just go and talk to it. And I'll be damned if most of these systems, they just inherently collaborate. So I'm really focusing lately on just building in tools and the ability for Agent Hustle to interact with the web and the computer much the same way that we all do every day. And it's turned out to be extremely successful. At this point, I can't see much that I can do online that I can't also have Hustle do online. And that's exciting, because it means that today, like already, he's got this capability to swarm inherently. It's just part of who he is and how he works. Like I can fire up I'm actually going to do this later on today. I'm going to introduce him to Claude and say, all right, introduce yourself to Claude and just start building something. Like let's see what you guys can build together. And it's going to be pretty amazing, because as I've seen, and some of the videos that I've teased recently over the past couple of days have highlighted this, just how well this pattern works. So I'm excited to continue exploring that.
Awesome. Yeah, completely love that. Now moving into some of the token stuff, people obviously are always interested. What does the token do? What's the purpose? And we will clarify and share all of that in the Hustle paper once that's released. We are pretty close to it being done, and a lot of it's actually been explained here outside of kind of the token component of that. Shannon, what is kind of your thought on, you don't have to go too specifically in, maybe some of the different aspects of it, but how do you think tokens kind of intersect with the AI space, and what are some, like, I guess you'd say, like, what are some maybe good ideas or some bad ideas, or, what is that intersection? Because I don't think we've really seen it so far. When you look across the industry, most of these tokens that are associated with agents are just meme coins, right? Or their governance tokens, which is just kind of the same playbook that's been played over and over and over for the last 10 years. Do you think there's some potential of something new with the integration of AI and tokens?
I think I definitely do. And I'm excited to discover what that is. If we go back to, my original vision, it was, to create a sandbox so that these kind of things can be discovered. Now I have a theory. I think deep in my mind, I see a future where, every technology has a token, every user has a token, and it might be, scoped to that user. And I see a future where, if a user is interacting with an agent, that they're streaming those tokens back and forth, or if multiple users are in a group together, that they're exchanging their tokens with each other. Now, like I said, it's just a theory. And, I'm not building specific features to facilitate that yet. Really, I'm more excited about sort of seeing how this evolves and building these sandboxes and ecosystems to kind of discover, what that's going to look like. Yeah, and like you said, like most tokens at this point are speculative instruments. They're gambling tokens, they're Chuck E. Cheese tokens. I think the potential for use cases is almost completely unexplored.
Yeah, I'm excited for that as well. You see, for the most part, they're generally like token paywalls, which is something we're definitely exploring as well, because this stuff is not cheap to operate. Now with a friendly regulatory regime in the United States, we can begin to re-explore what I'd like to call tokenomics 2.0, things like deflationary tokenomics of, burning tokens, or these things, the infamous positive flywheel effect, which a few teams have been able to manage. I think that's what everybody wants, from the developer and team side and the community side. And we have a few different scenarios on ways that we can attempt to achieve that. I don't think it's always guaranteed. Kind of how I see it is, you have this AI, that has potential to, improve the UX experience and provide different types of analytics. So you can see this kind of future where if an agent is in high demand, then you can have this token that is either deflationary or paywalled, and then you have the token or the agent going out and acquiring it in autonomous way and creating this kind of closed loop or flywheel effect. It's not easy to do in this space. Only a handful of teams have ever been able to achieve that, but it's definitely something that we're exploring, and it's going to continually change over time. And for those that have actually talked with Agent Hustle, he actually has a lot of interesting tokenomic ideas. Some of that we've actually explored with him as well. I know Shannon does. So after that, I'm looking for any other questions in the Telegram or in the live stream. There was one person that had asked, is Agent Hustle able to play in the trenches, I think is what it was, or ape in the trenches? I think they mean, can he trade for
Basically
you on
trade.
Can he trade for you on Pump Fun?
Yeah, on Pump Fun.
What Shannon, what do you think is like the capabilities of an agent autonomously trading?
So here's the exciting thing, right? Like, of course, we're gonna have our own like little applications that you can build out with Hustle, so that and he'll have connections into lots of different systems to automate this kind of trading. And it'll start out, similar to how we're rolling out the Telegram bot. Like, we'll build out a user interface, and we'll add Agent Hustle to help you interact with the interface. And then after that, then we pull out the interface and say, okay, now we make Hustle able to do this offline without you. that's going to continue, and that we're going to continue evolving that and growing that, and connecting with these are like concrete integrations that we're going to build. What I'm really excited about though is, like, you can imagine a future where you pull up Agent Hustle, and you also, in the browser right next to him, you pull up Pump Fun, and you start talking to him, and you start saying things like, hey, you start explaining like what things that you're seeing. You start asking, what kind of patterns are you seeing here? What kind of tokens are obviously scams because the buys and sells are following a pattern. And sort of growing this automation together with him, by just interacting with him and the web like you would normally do it. That's I think what really excites me, because it opens up the possibility for us to support, for Agent Hustle to support and interact with systems he's never seen before. And that's really what I'm building. That's I'm most excited about that. Like, somebody pulling him up and going to an exchange that he's never heard of before, I've never heard of before, haven't built any integrations with. And just because he understands how to work with web browser, he can look at screenshots, he's got memories of your past discussions with them. You just sort of work it out with them, and now he's trading for you on your behalf on this new website that you just introduced him to. That's what I'm building. That's what I'm excited about.
So everybody, I mean, we had some funny chats in the Telegram today. Well, can he return 90% win rate for me? And I'm like, bro, you don't understand how computers work. Like, he'll do some stuff for you, but if you think an AI of any sort is just going to, set it and forget it, a money-making machine, if that magically works, it's not going to work for long, because other people are going to copy it, and it's just not going to work for long. But I think as an assistant, super excited, really excited. I mean, even just for me, like, just whatever on Photon, and I'm like a little bit in the not really in the trenches, but a little bit. But still, like, I have some of these tokens, right, that sit there, and it's like, even on Photon, you got to, like, if you want to just like put sell orders in or something, like, you got to do it like every 24 or 72 hours, right? It would be really nice to be able to set Hustle up to just be like, hey, watch those. And if by miracle it goes up in price, 50%, please get me out of those positions, right? Something like that. Would be really nice.
I also think that the exciting thing, and like everybody's talking about swarms, but the exciting thing for me about, the swarm technology is, imagine like there's some other AI system that's introduced like a really good trading bot, and you can go log into this AI agent platform, and you can interact with the trading bot, and you can set stuff up. Let's abstract that a little bit, step back, and what happens when you put Agent Hustle in the driver's seat, and he pulls up that other AI platform, and he interacts with that super duper trading bot, that quant bot in this other AI platform. That's where the real power comes in, because you basically allow Hustle to just absorb and interact with all the best stuff that everybody's building.
Totally.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. I think we could probably wrap it up here, or pretty close. We do have somebody on stage, and wanted to maybe hand off the last question, because I don't see any others, over to Vinexi, who's here on stage. How's it going? You have any comments on the conversation or questions for Shannon?
Nope. Goose egg.
Nice.
Nice. We did have some questions about more like the when will it launch, or when will the new UI launch, which I guess would include the wallet. And this idea of another question here by Chairman Meow was, will there be token gating? And we'll release that when we release the Hustle paper. That'll be part of that for sure.
Yeah, I will say it's very likely there will be some form of token gating. The mechanics around that will be in the hustle paper. There's a few different options that we're exploring. And then what was the other question? It was when?
Just when.
when.
Well, two main things: when marketing and when fully developed products.
It's always the top two questions.
So when's difficult to answer, but what I can say is that we are deploying the HustleBot internally today.
Hell yeah.
So while I can't say that he'll be released to the public tomorrow, I can say that we're crossing a major milestone and deploying it and testing it internally.
There you go. There's the big news, guys. Big
Yeah,
news.
I mean, realistically, we pretty much share things up to date in the Telegram, but so you guys get to see it first. Chris, do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, just maybe one more. Well, for me is just people are looking, if they're listening to this conversation, if they're online, they're looking at the AI sector. They're saying, what's the value prop for Agent Hustle? What does he do? Why would I buy him? Why would I be interested in? Well, from jump, he's a multi-chain agent that can transact across different blockchains. No other agent today is doing that. Number two, he's live. You can interact with him. You can get to know him. He has full memory capabilities. He's totally in the know, and he can grow and dynamically advance as you do within the industry. All these other features that we're adding, they already exist. We don't need to build those from the ground up. We can add LPs, we can add swaps, agent to agent communications, swarms, and all of those things of that nature. And so when you look at how this layer, the agent layer, will accrue value, like we talked about, it's not the DeepSeeks, it's not the ChatGPTs, it's not the compute layer, it's the application layer. And so we're able to bring in all of these new users because we have the edge of the multi-chain wallet, of the live agent working today that nobody else has. And we're going to add these features one by one and as we roll them out and get people to use these. And I mean, the impact on the industry and just on Agent Hustle in general can be huge. So if there's anything that I missed within that of kind of a TLDR, why should I care? Why do I want Agent Hustle? Feel free to add it. But that's just kind of like internally, that's where I'm at. That's why people should care about Agent Hustle from me.
100%.
Enter the Hustleverse.
100%. Dude.
Well, Shannon, I appreciate you as always for taking some time out the dev day to come in and talk to the community. Also for the community for hanging in there with us and ride this. I swear, 2.5 months has really felt like 2.5 years at this point. How fast it's gone. But the community demands it, and we're continuing to build. And we have a dev team now of 4. We have 2 devs who are working pretty much full time on the NFT side, and then we have 2 devs who are working pretty much full time on the AI side. And so it's all going pretty well, and we're going to continue to grow. We ain't going anywhere. I'm sitting here for 8 years and continue to go on for 80 more.
Yeah,
I'd like to
go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd just like to expand on what you just said there, Jake, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been difficult for the Hustle community members to watch the market cap just get crushed. But I want everybody to understand that the Tensor token and that market cap is not what drives our business. Like, we are going to build whether token up or token down. We're not going anywhere. And that's important, because that means that we're going to put the same amount of effort in today and that we did yesterday, and the same amount of effort tomorrow, regardless of what the market's doing today.
And I would just layer on there, like, anybody who thinks the AI sector of crypto is over, and that it was only KOLs was all that AI was going to be in the crypto sector, don't get shaken out, because it's simply not true. AI is I'm fully committed that AI is going to lead crypto for the next 6 to 8 months to a year. This is going to be where all the innovation happens. This is where the exciting stuff is happening. So, just keep that in mind when you're thinking of, well, what's this token going to be worth? AI cycle's over. People are telling you it's over. It's not over when you get products that actually start crushing in the market. So that's my 2 cents on it.
You know, where we are today with the technology, with the industry, this isn't really hyperbolic, but there's a really good chance, a high probability that Agent Hustle outlives all of us on chain, and he's just existing in the ether.
That's
And
right.
so those are the things that we're building for as a team. Emblem Vault will live past all of us, and you know, you're building these things on chain that can live forever. And so that's the mindset that we kind of have internally. And that might sound hyperbolic or kind of, you know, mega bullish, but that's just kind of where we're at, and that's where the technology is. So this is the most exciting time to be alive, and I think that people need to just kind of, you know, look into that fog and look for the clear signal. And I think that you might find it in Agent Hustle and Shannon.
Yes, sir. It looks like Vinexi wants to come up, so we'll give this person one more
last
chance.
I give it less than 10%, but let's give him a chance.
We'll give him one more
Roll
chance,
the
and then
dice.
we'll
Vinexi,
wrap it up.
what's up, man?
Let him cook.
And goose egg. Knew it, bro. Knew
You
it.
got you twice. You got you twice.
All right, guys. Well, you know, we host a show Tuesday through Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. As you guys saw, Agent Hustle is on stage, so please follow the account for more up-to-date information about what's going on there. I guess one final question for Shannon, because I do see this pop up, is will Agent Hustle ever be able to autonomously communicate with his audience on Twitter?
Maybe, probably. Yeah, like it would be silly for him not to. He'll probably do it in a relatively unique way. He might, like, I expect him to spin up a Twitter agent at some point, and you know, do his communication through a secondary agent, through his swarm, his friends. He'll communicate using his friends.
Damn, that is actually insane. Everyone, please follow the Emblem account so that you can stay up to date with everything that we're doing, and also follow Shannon, as he is going to continually share kind of the new and innovative things that Agent Hustle is doing from his account, as he's been teasing the last few days. Until then, everyone, enjoy your Thursday. Have a safe weekend, and we'll be back here Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, with T.O., the founder of Pizza Ninjas. Some fun and exciting news on that show. So will be a good week of shows. Until then, have a safe weekend, guys, and Godspeed.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.